Good day, class. I will be your teacher in business mathematics. I am Maureen Paragas Abulencia. Our first lesson is all about converting fractions, decimals, and percent. At the end of this lesson, the learner should be able to express fractions to decimals and percent forms, decimals to fractions and percent forms, and percent to fractions and decimal forms. Converting fraction to decimal. As we all know, a fraction indicates division. So let's say, for example, the fraction 3/5. How do we convert this to decimal? We simply do division 3 divided by 5, where 3 is a dividend and 5 is a divisor. So 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. 3/5 converted to decimal is equal to 0.6. Converting fraction to percent. First step, we convert the fraction into a decimal. As we all know, to convert a fraction into a decimal, we simply divide the numerator by the denominator. So 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. Next step, we convert the decimal into percent by moving the decimal point 2 places to the right. So 0.6, we move the decimal point 2 places to the right. And then we affix the percent sign. So the fraction 3/5 converted to percent is equal to 60%. Next, converting decimal to fraction. First step is to write the decimal as a fraction where the numerator is a decimal and the denominator is 1. So we have an example here of 0.45. Numerator is a decimal of 0.45 and the denominator is 1. Next, we determine the number of decimal places. 0.45, the number of decimal places is hundredths. So we multiply the fraction by the number of decimal places reached. So hundredths, so we multiply it by 100. So we get 45 over 100. Lastly, we reduce the fraction to its lowest term. So we divide it by 5, we get 9 over 20.
Good day, everyone. This video is all about converting repeating decimals to fractions. So say for example, we have 2.3 bar sign. 0.3 bar sign means 2.3333 and never ending 3 because 3 is the repeating decimal. Okay. So the first step is to create the first equation such that the repeating decimal is on the 10th place. So let's look at the repeating decimal. Is it on the 10th place? Yes, it's on the 10th place. Okay, so x is equal to 2.3 bar. Next step, count the number of decimals being repeated. Okay, if there is one decimal being repeated, multiply the first equation by 10. Okay, so we look at our example. Is there one decimal being repeated? Yes, it's only one, and that is the 3 or 0.3. So we multiply it by 10. Now, if you ask me, how about if we have two decimals being repeated, we multiply it by 100. If we have 3 decimals being repeated, we multiply it by 1000 and so on and so forth. So in this case, we have one decimal being repeated, we multiply the first equation by 10. So x we multiply by 10, we have 10x. 2.3 we multiply by 10, 23.3 bar sign. Next, we subtract equation 1 from equation 2. So subtract 10x minus x is 9x. 23.3 bar minus 2.3 bar, we have 21. Notice that we have cancelled the repeating decimal. Okay, so that's our goal. Next, we solve for x. So over 9 and over 9. So x is equal to 21 over 9. Next, we get the lowest term. We get the lowest term by knowing the GCF, or the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor for 21 and 9 is 3. So we divide it by 3. So x would be 21 divided by 3, that is 7, and 9 divided by 3, that is 3. So our answer is 7 over 3.
Converting decimal to percent. We move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Say for example, 0.55. So we move the decimal point 2 places to the right, we get the number 55. And then we add the percent sign. So 0.55 decimal is equal to 55%. Converting percent to fraction. We drop the percent sign. Next, take the number and use it as a numerator. Always use 100 as your denominator. Say for example 95%. We drop the percent sign, so 95 is a numerator and 100 is our denominator. So the fraction is 95 over 100. Next, we reduce the fraction to its lowest term by dividing the fraction by its greatest common factor, or GCF. And the greatest common factor of 95 and 100 is 5. So we divide 95 over 100 by 5, we get 19 over 20. So 95% converted to fraction is 19 over 20. Converting percent to decimal. Drop the percent sign and move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So this is the opposite of converting a decimal to percent. Example, 81%. We drop the percent sign and then we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So 81% is equal to 0.81 in decimal.